Hi everyone, hope you're well, hope you're having a good week. Um, if you are joining me a little later than usual, then thank you for joining me. I wonder if anybody else who's in the UK went out to have a look at the eclipse this evening. If you did, I hope you saw much more than I did because I went out at peak just after 7 and it was really quite disappointing. And yeah, in Scotland up here, we've got a lot of cloud cover. Um, but it did kind of break through the clouds just at the optimal point. But no, didn't really see much. I saw much more back in 1999 when there was the eclipse then. So anyway, comment in the chat if you went eclipse viewing this evening and if you saw anything. I hope you had a better time than I did. So tonight's plan, I'm going to be playing with some stuff that I've not played with before. So as you maybe saw on, might be last week's video or the week before, but I've reorganized my stamps up on my shelf, and so that they're divided up now by catalogue because we get 3 catalogues a year. And so these are all from my May to August pile. That catalogue is finishing at the end of this month, and the September to December catalogue will soon be coming out. Some of these items will still be available. They'll carry over either into the next catalogue or available online. But I thought, I've had these for like months and I've not played with them. So let me flick around. This is what I want to play with tonight. So these are both stamp sets that have matching punches, which is something I love. I am actually amazed that I haven't used these already. You've got the exciting times with the frame and this kind of like rectangular, like oval rectangle punch that goes with it. And then you've got the Olive Flutter, which is a triple butterfly with the butterfly stamp set, punch to stamp out the stamp set too. And this is one of these ones that is 2-step or 3-step stamping. So I think you can do this in the background and then that on top and that on top. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to give it a shot. The other thing that I've pulled out, which in this interest of I've got it, so I should probably use it, is some of my pattern papers. So these two are paper stacks. This is the one in the current ink colours, and this is the one in the brights, which I thought looked quite pretty. And then I have these papers as well. So these are shimmer, this is shimmer vellum. And then this is, I think I got this paper when I was on stage. I'm pretty sure it was a all attendee giveaway, but it's very pretty. And I thought I really should start using this stuff. So it's quite good. It's, what's it called? Paper medley. So it's one of these ones that you can use for a lot of different things. And I thought some of these could be really cute to use with the punches and the stamp sets that I've pulled out tonight. So let me jump to it. I am going to get my trimmer and some cardstock because not enough to just have stamps. I have to get blocks as well and some colours, but let's have a go with this. So I'm just going to start off with, actually I'm going to start, yeah, I'm going to start off with some thick basic white. Will I do basic white? Maybe crumb cake bases might be nice. Let me have a quick look at the colours in this paper medley. This might be interesting to do a different card blank. Have I got any of my basic? Do I have any basic beige? You know what? Let's go with thick basic white. You don't need to watch me try and make decisions all evening. Let's just get to the point, Emma. Okay, so scoring at 10.5 and cutting at 14.8. So that'll get me 2 C6 card blanks, which I think is a good starting point. Let's take these down. As always, hi to everyone who's watching. Hi if you're on Facebook. Hi to YouTube. Hi to Twitch. I don't think many people watch on Twitch, but if you are there and you're on Twitch, hi, I'm glad you're here. Hi to everyone watching live. Hi to everyone watching on catch up. And as always, if you've got any questions, drop them in the chat or message me separately. And yeah, I'm glad you're here. You can also, if you want, obviously you do whatever you want, but you might want to pull some of your own craft supplies out and craft along with me. I like crafting on a Wednesday evening. It's become my thing now. And there's no reason you can't join me if you want to. If you want to just watch as well, that's fine. But if you've got any crafting supplies that you bought because you like them, you haven't used them yet, give them a try, pull something out. Okay, I don't often put DSP on that covers the entire card front. More often than not, I have like a little layer poking around the edge, but this one, I'm going to do it so it covers the whole front. And I'm using this piece of paper from Paper Medley because I think it's got a nice subtle pattern that's good for backgrounds. It's not too in your face, so it's going to provide a good backdrop to something else. At the moment, this design is just all in my head, so stay with me and let's see if this works. Okay, so now I've got my card blank. Right, these colours, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Hydrangea Hue. So let's pull this out. Let's get some clear blocks as well. So, is that going to be big enough? No, need a larger block. And I'm going to need some card stock as well. I'm just chopping up some basic white, just cutting it in half to make it a bit more manageable. Right, let's start off with this frame. In Hydrangea Hue. I have to say this is one of my favourites of the new in colours. It's just a lovely shade of blue. You know, I kind of tend to go for blues and purples and that sort of thing, but this one I just find it's really lovely. And you know, I love these new ink pads as well, the magnetic style. Hey Linda. Ooh, I'm on the big screen. I feel very privileged. I'm sure that also means that you can mute me really easily if you need to, or turn my volume up and down. Yeah, what was I saying there? Yeah, just wanted to new ink pads. I'm just going to fussy cut around this. That bit there is for the punch, but I'm going to fussy cut around this bit just for just now. I've got this new style just available in the in colours that came out earlier on in the year. So these are the 2026 to 2028 in colours, because the Stampin' Up in colours run for 2 years. And they've already told us that next year they're going to be doing a colour refresh, and they're going to be bringing out all of their colour range in these new style of ink pads. So it's a bit of an upgrade. The new ink pads are definitely easier to open. And they are, I think they're really cool to use. You do not have to buy new ink pads. I'm just going to say that because I I've heard people saying that, oh, we're being forced to buy new ink pads. No, you're not. Nobody's forcing you to buy anything. You can do whatever you choose. You have free will. And if you want to buy new ink pads, you can buy new ink pads. But if you don't want to buy new ink pads, you don't have to buy new ink pads. Nobody is going to make you. So if you, oh, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to make this a birthday card. If you would like new ink pads, then yeah, absolutely, go for it. But please don't feel you have to. The current range of ink pads will work perfectly well. In fact, some of you will maybe even still have the ink pads that we had previously to this. So I think these new magnetic style ink pads, it's the third iteration of ink pads that Stampin' Up has done that I'm aware of. But I mean, Stampin' Up has been going for nearly 40 years. They've had lots of different styles over the years. And just because they've got new versions and upgrades doesn't mean that the old ones will all of a sudden stop working. They're not going to be somehow disabled. So I have all of the colours in the current format of ink pad, and I will continue to use them and enjoy them for quite some time. And you can too. Don't ever let anybody bully you into what you must or mustn't do. Now, what you choose to do, that's an entirely different matter, but that's a decision that people make by themselves. Here we go. Happy birthday to you. So I've done the outer bit in my crisp cantaloupe. I've done the sentiment in my hydrangea hue. And then I'm going to cut this out with the punch. I love me a stamp set with a matching punch. I really do. I think it's just so easy. There we go. Hop. Right, so I'm going to stick that on with foam pads. And I'm going to put this on the card. I haven't yet decided whether it should be portrait or landscape. Probably portrait, actually, because these patterns, they look like little flowers, don't they? So probably makes more sense to have them portrait. I'm going to use the edge pieces of my dimensionals. Waste not, want not. Good crafter never lets anything go to waste, right? That's why we've all got craft rooms that are bursting at the seams. There's so many scraps and little bits that, well, it might come in useful for something. Right. So at the moment, that's where I'm at. I think that on its own is quite pretty. But let's step it up a bit and see what else we can add. There's ribbon. Now here's the question. Should it be the crisp cantaloupe ribbon? So, come on. Should I do it like that? Hey, Julie? Or should I stay with the hydrangea hue and do it like that? What do you think? You guys have a quick discussion around whether you think it should be the cantaloupe ribbon or the hydrangea hue ribbon. And while you're doing that, I'm going to do some butterflies, because we might add butterflies to the front of this card and we might not. As I say, I have not yet quite decided. But either way, I am going to do some of the butterflies. So let's get, where's my cardstock on? Let's get the cardstock. Let's do some butterflies. Butterflies, flutterbies. Right. Let's do the solid background first, because So I'm going to do that in the palest shade. And when I say palest shade, I'm going to ink up my stamp. I'm going to stamp off and then stamp again so that I get 2 shades of ink from the one ink pad. Again, nobody's saying you have to go out and buy all the ink pads. Why am I doing it that way around? Let's do it this way around. So let's stamp off. And then let's stamp on here. Now, I am just going to check which way. You see, this is an easy way to do this because I know I want my punch to come up from the bottom. So if I turn my stamp over that way, then I know I want to do it about there. So Ali's gone with cantaloupe, but Julie's gone with hydrangea. Okay, who's going to have the deciding vote? Linda, you going to weigh in on the comments? You can see there's a couple more people watching that haven't commented. Now's the time. Whoever says next, that's what I'll go for. Because right now it's a tie. Let's do, this one goes on next. Okay, so let's be smart about this. There we go. Yeah, so that kind of fits on there. Linda and Heather have said hydrangea. Sorry, Ellie. I'll do cantaloupe ribbon on the next one. Okay, let's line this up. Still maybe a little dark. See, now I've got the dark outline to put over the top. I don't know how this is going to work. We're going to give it a try. You're a pensioner, so you'll have to watch your pennies. Yes, well, I'm not a pensioner and I'm still watching my pennies as well. But yeah, you've got to do what's right for you and what's right for your budget. Okay, so don't feel that you have to be pushed into doing something that you don't want to do. Right, Secret C. I was thinking about using Night of Navy, but actually I think Secret C is a little bit darker than Night of Navy, and I think it will look really pretty with my hydrangea hue. Just need to make sure I pick the right one. Line it up. Oops, close that over so I don't accidentally do it again. You don't know what to have to eat. That I can't help you with. We had chicken satay tonight, which was really yummy. Tom did a Thai cooking class a few years ago when we still lived in Bristol, and every now and again he will make us amazing Thai chicken satay. That's what we had for dinner. There we go. I think that's quite pretty. You can just about see the pale hydrangea underneath. Actually wondering, see if I do another one. Just the outline. See, the outline on its own, I think, is really pretty. Long nose emoji. Oh, is that not the emoji you meant to do? Or is that you telling porcupines? I tried to tell my nephew the other weekend that if he was telling lies, his nose would grow. He had no idea what I was talking about. So kids these days don't know what Pinocchio is. How does anybody not know what Pinocchio is? Sad days, sad days. Let's just do this straight hydrangea hue without Stampin' Off and just the background. And let's layer it up on top of that. See, it's still quite dark, isn't it? This one is a bit paler. But they're both pretty. And you know what? I think I'm going to put both of them on this card. If I hadn't moved, you could have popped down. Ali, you would have been welcome to come for dinner. In fact, you're welcome to come for dinner now, but it might take you more than just a quick 10 minutes in the car up the road. The lovely ladies who came to craft with me for our Christmas in July were very, very jealous of the Indian feast that Tom and one of my nieces were cooking. The smells were absolutely incredible. Right, I'm gonna have to just trim the bottom off of this. I have kind of punched this at a weird angle, so I'm now, or stamped it at a weird angle, so I'm now punching at a weird angle. But let's see, line it up, punch it. There we go. Now, do the same with the darker ones. And Julie, I have to say, it tasted amazing. He did a lamb biryani that was just to die for. And we had so many naan breads. In fact, we've got loads of them in the freezer to have another day. Absolutely amazing. Right, so the verdict was hydrangea hue in the bottom. Although, could actually do both. Would that keep everybody happy, or would it just upset everyone? What happened? What would it look like if I put both on? What do we think? Both? Let's cut a bit of both. I'm definitely going to put on the hydrangea hue. Don't worry. But I'm wondering if I shouldn't put on crisp cantaloupe as well. First person to comment in the chat, that's what I'll do. Am I doing both, or am I just doing single? See who can get in there first. Come on, Ali, this is your chance. Are you too busy making dinner? I think both could be pretty. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to do it. Nobody's commented, so I'm just going to do it. Rebel that I am. Use the butterfly stamps to make a waterfall card. Oh, one colour only. Right. I'm glad you said that before I stuck it completely down, or else we would have been doing both. Right. Waterfall card for a teacher friend. She left it out on our table to show the class. I'm sure she did, Ali. Your cards are stunning. I've seen you make so many beautiful cards. Right. So I haven't stuck this down yet, but let's just move these out of the way so you can see. So this is what we've got at the moment. And now my idea was to add in some of the butterflies. And I was thinking about doing them that way. Or do we need cantaloupe butterflies as well? Let's try doing, got plenty of card. Might as well do some more butterflies. Let's figure out which way they're going to punch out. While I'm doing this, somebody tell me if you think cantaloupe butterflies are a terrible idea or not. I think it could look quite pretty. So if I do the background in Cantaloupe, let's see what colour I do for over the top. Ooh, Cajun Craze? Cajun Craze or Calypso Coral? Let's try Calypso Coral, see what that looks like. Not if you use Cantaloupe ribbon with them. I'm not using Cantaloupe ribbon, just staying Hydrangea Hue ribbon. I'm just thinking there's a little touch of Cantaloupe, so maybe it needs more just for contrast. See what the Calypso Coral looks like, although I'm just going to stamp it. May not be defined enough. What it looks like. It's quite pretty. As I was saying the other day, I don't use a lot of oranges. And Cantaloupe and Coral, they are kind of orangey shades. But I think it works. Trim that off a bit. We've had some fabulous butterfly stamps and punches over the years. Butterfly stamps are one of my all-time favourites. It's like the very first stamps I ever had. I think I told you last week, the very, very first one was a star, a little shooting star. But after that, yeah, it was a butterfly one. Should have gone with a Cantaloupe ribbon. Still here. It's not that hard to swap out. Everybody else seems to have stopped commenting anyway, so maybe they're given up in disgust at my use of all this Cantaloupe. I'm going to chop that the other way. What do we think? Nothing's stuck down yet. I can still change it. Ooh, Heather weighing in at the bottom. You like it. Right, let's do it. I'm going to stick this down flat. And then I'm going to put the butterflies up on dimensionals. Okay, so let's put that right there. There we go. And now let's get these on dimensionals. Calypso Coral is your least favourite colour. I hear you. It's not one I reach for often, but I think pairing it with the crisp cantaloupe, I think it's actually worked quite nicely. But everyone has their favourites. Here we go. What do we think? I think that's worked all right. Lovely. Okay, so that's our first card made this evening. But I do want to make another one, and I've still got this piece of hydrangea hue ribbon to stick on something. So let's use another bit of this designer series paper. And I'm thinking, I really like this one. It's got like tiny, tiny little flowers on it. So let's use this. And I'm going to do another all background card. Am I? I think I am. Maybe I just do a half. No, I am. I'm going to do another all background card. It's kind of the mood I'm in this evening. Patterned card background mood. Yeah. I'm using up my almost completely dead Tombos. When I had one of my nieces round a couple of weekends ago, we made a mini album. She wanted to do that with photos of her and her boyfriend. They've been going out for a year now, and she wanted to have like this anniversary album. We used a lot of Tombow, we really did. And so a lot of my bottles are very nearly finished, so I thought I would use them all up. You like the butterflies card, Linda? No, you said you loved the butterflies card, Linda. Thank you very much. I'm quite pleased with it too. Right, so let's do that as the background. Still haven't decided if I'm going to do it portrait or landscape. Let's bring this out again. Let's go, actually. What colour is this? This is Calypso Coral. These little dots on it. Thinking, where's my rectangle punch? I was thinking of doing like 3 rectangles. Oh, do you know what? I still haven't done. You're not keen on Civic Tiger or Darling Duckling. They just look dirty. Yeah, I can understand that. Darling Duckling is a yellow that I've never quite got 100% behind. So, you know, I still haven't done that new neighborhood card for the new neighbors. Here's to a new chapter. Would that be? I need one that says welcome. You make the world a better place. That's probably a bit soon. The adventure continues. That could work as a welcome card. Let's see what I've got. Looking through. Wishing you a lovely day. That could work as a welcome card. Although I'd really like if it was something that just said welcome. There's a hello there. That could do. That could work. These are in my online exclusive bundles. Wishing you a lovely day. You know, I could just write welcome, couldn't I? That's the problem. Half of the problem with card making is trying to decide what to do. And that's the trap I've fallen into. Can't decide what to do. Needs a green. and a yellow. Right. Green and yellow. Yellow butterflies with green over the top. Green butterflies with yellow over the top. No, yellow background. Do the yellow first with green. Let's get another block so that I can be lazy and not have to take the butterflies off the first one. Right. Starting to get all over the place here. Oops. And I had cardstock a minute ago. There we go. Right. 'Too dark? I think I'm going to stamp off. Yeah, far too dark. Make it paler. There we go. Could use alphabet dies. You're absolutely right, Linda. Oh, you're absolutely right. I could use alphabet dies. Ones I've got are a bit big, but I've got smaller ones. Oh, yes. You see, this is why I like crafting with you lot. You give me such good ideas. Alphabet dies is exactly the way forward. Do you like that? Green and yellow? Not sure about it. Going to stamp off the green first, I think. I think the Peaceful Pine is too dark. Paler green is nicer. You're like, Emma, if you didn't want a dark green, why did you use Peaceful Pine? You've got all of those other colours that you could have picked. I know, but I've gone within colours for the other two. And I thought if I stick within the colour family, then I know it's all going to coordinate. And sometimes I just want things to be easy. See, that's nicer. I think that's quite pretty. That I think is too dark. You with me on that one? The paler one? I'll clean these off first and I'll go and get some alphabet dies because Linda is an absolute genius. I know exactly the dies I'm going to use as well. Right, dies. The paler is prettier. Stamped off is better. Yep, I think you ladies and gents, if any gents are watching, are absolutely right. Okay, these are my Alphabet a la Mode dies. Let's see if I can fit Welcome on. Yeah, I think this is going to work, isn't it? There we go. That's quite pretty. And then I can have like butterflies dotted around. Let's punch these out now that we've agreed that the paler ones are best. Chop off that bit at the bottom. I know what this needs. Remember I told you about that shimmer stuff that I had? So there's a blue, there's a pink, but then there's this one, which is just iridescent. So I'm not going to cut this out of iridescent. I'm going to cut it out of white. But if I just look, let's see if I did a 5 centimeter strip. Because again, this stuff is kind of see-through. Is it vellum? It feels like vellum. Yep, Sunset Shimmer Vellum. So let's 5 centimeters by 14.8. Right. If I put that on the center, so you still, see if I just tip the butterflies off for a second. That on the center, you can still see the flowers through it, but it's got this beautiful shimmer. Ooh, I am liking this. And then my welcome over the top. Welcome just in white. I think I'm just going to do it in white. Have a piece of white card here. Ooh, the letters up on foam pads or the letters down flat? An awful lot to do on foam pads. Let's just do them flat. Let's just do them flat. They've waited long enough for this card already. Let's get my adhesive sheets out and my cut and emboss. Starting to make a real mess here. Okay. So let's get a strip. Adhesive sheets before I get started, because that's going to make all of this so much easier. Where's the backing of my adhesive sheets? I mean, these letters aren't such a nightmare to do, so I could have just cut them and stuck them down. But adhesive sheets just makes everything easier. You think these letters are too fine for foam pads? I think you're right, Linda. I mean, I could have tried it and it might have worked, but it also might have been an absolute nightmare. So let's just trim that off. Flat because the letters are thin. Yeah, Ali, you're completely right. You're both right. Let's see. I am making a real mess here. You know that nesting approach where you've just got stuff everywhere. Okay, right. Slightly at an angle. Why am I making this difficult on myself? Plenty of space. Let's tip everything at an angle. You know, I've said this before, when you've got dies that have got straight edges, it is much better to put it through your machine at a slight angle. They will cut better. And I'm going to run them through in both directions because they've got the adhesive sheets on the back. I want to make sure that they cut crisply. Ended up covered in red ink. Oh. But being covered in ink is part of what being a crafter is all about. I mean, I've got ink on my fingers just now. Right, let's pop that off into the bin. Let's pop out all my little letters. I have been looking through my card stash here. For those who've been to my room, the bit behind my laptop over here has just been piled high with lots of cards and samples and bits and pieces. And I'm trying to tidy that area and make that part of the desk a bit more functional. And I've come across a whole load of cards that are ready to send. There's cards that need a bit more finishing before I can do anything with them. There's cards I'm going to keep for Christmas. There's cards I'm going to donate to charity. There's cards I'm going to send out to people. I do want to send more cards. Been selling a few things on eBay recently, and it's always nice to include a homemade, handmade card in with those. There we go. Right. You know what? I'm just very quickly going to put these back because then it's one less thing I have to tidy up later. What's that thing? Don't put it down, put it away. Easier said than done, especially in a craft room. We used some of these letters on my niece's album and she really liked it. There we go. Right. Anybody know where I put the wallet for these? There it is. Right, so now just gonna try and flatten this out a bit more. For some reason it's a bit curvy. There we go. Now, vellum. Sticking vellum down can sometimes be a bit tricky because you can see it. But if I make it a deliberate feature, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put tear tape right along both of the long edges. And then that way, if you see it through the other side, it'll look like a border. And if you don't see it, happy days. Border, border. My mum always says I pronounce that wrong. I think it's border. A boarder is someone who stays with you, like a lodger. This is such a pretty vellum. I don't know why I haven't used this before. It's very pretty. Ah. See, I think that's fine. Can you see it? I can't see it. That is about as good as it's going to get. Right. You had £1 every time you told your lot to put things away you could afford a maid. Yes. Yeah, the problem is it's me that has to put this stuff away. So if I don't do it, nobody else is going to. There we go. Right. The trick to getting letters centered, now this is one that my mum taught me from her cake decorating days. Does anybody know the trick? You start in the middle and work your way out. Because if you start at the start of the word, then before you know it, you've either run out of space or you've got too much space. Whereas if you start in the center, then you can space things on either side. And just because, I mean, this word's got 7 letters, and yes, I'm starting with the letter in the middle, but sometimes letters are not equal. So an L doesn't take up nearly as much width as a W, for example. So you need to lay it out first and then start sticking down, but always work from the center out. Start in the middle. Absolutely, Ali. This is the lived experience of everybody who's struggled to fit a word or a phrase onto a card or a cake or whatever it was we were trying to do. You know my phrase, ask me how I know. Sometimes you have to get it wrong in order to learn how to get it right. There we go. These are pretty letters. Linda, this was a good idea. Thank you very much. I do like this alphabet. It's thin and elegant. Not unlike myself. Well, apart from the thin bit. Than the elegant bit. I am more of the haphazard than the elegant, I think. Go. Right. Let's that looks pretty. I think that looks pretty. Let's cut some of these pieces up. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just going to use so while I'm assembling these, as I say, I chose the stamp sets that I've used tonight because I had bought them, because I liked them, but I hadn't yet used them. So my challenge to you is, what stamp sets or dies or paper or whatever have you got because you liked it and you've not yet had a chance to play with it? Why don't you have a play tonight? Why don't you get some of your crafting stuff out and have a go? You like crafting. You've got lots of bits and pieces to play with. Go on, I give you permission. Not that you need my permission, but sometimes it's good for somebody else to say, just go on, go and have a play. The dishes will wait till tomorrow. You don't have to do the ironing. You've got plenty of clean clothes, and if not, no one's going to tell if you're wearing knickers or bikini bottoms. Probably. Have a play. Go on, have some fun. Oh goodness, I thought I'd done it upside down for a second. How about that? I think that's quite nice. Okie dokie. So these are our 2 cards that we've done this evening then. So both of them have used the Paper Medley designer series paper as the backgrounds. And then we've used Exciting Times, the frames, and the punch for the rectangles. We've used the All Aflutter for the butterflies. They both have matching punches, which we've used to cut out our shapes. And the colours that we've used have been Hydrangea Hue, Crisp Cantaloupe, and then golden glow and peaceful pine for those. There we go. And I think that will do us for this evening. So I hope you have enjoyed my designs tonight. As always, if you've got any questions, anything you want to ask, then please reach out. And have a great week. Take care, everyone. Bye.